and the spout that leads to it is called the gate on the mold. The mold itself is made out of brass, although they also used iron and even soapstone.
What did you say? The cherry?
Cherry. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, cherry.
And again, because I missed that. The cherry?
Cherry, and the little spout leading to it is called the gate on the mold.
Okay.
The heating device I'm using here is called an 18th century traveling stove, and it's called a brazier. It uses little scraps of wood like this, so it's very economical on wood. You get started? Yeah, not yet. It's getting there.
Can you just call me real quick when you're 8
Yes.
And then what metal? When he's holding.
Bullets are made out of lead, pure lead. The pistol you see here that we're making bullets for is termed a Scottish pistol because they were invented by Scottish gunsmiths. It's a pistol characterized by a weapon that has all metal construction. There's no wood on it anyplace. It lacks a trigger guard, and it has a bulbous trigger. Now that particular one is a reproduction of a Scottish pistol made by a London gunsmith named John Waters. And he had the contract to make pistols for the 42nd British Regiment, which is also known as the Black Watch. And that is a unit that is still active in the British Army yet today after all these years. Now all Scottish regiments, like the 42nd, carried a musket, a broadsword, and a pistol like that. They were the most heavily armed units during the Revolutionary War.
Did you make the bullets out in the field?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and was the lead shipped in from Europe as well?
Well, for the British Army it was, and we got some of it from France as well.
Okay.
There were 2 lead mines in North America. One was in western Pennsylvania, and the other one was in western Virginia. In Virginia, they used slave labor to mine the lead. In Pennsylvania, they used captured British soldiers to mine the lead. And once they dug it out of the ground, it was cast into 25-pound bars called pigs. And it was in that form that they sent it off to Washington's army. Once they received it in the army, then they split it up into little pieces like this where you can get in your lead ladle. Because the soldiers brought their own weapons from home over on Washington's side. There was a tremendous disparity of calibers of weapons, and for that reason the soldiers had to make their own ammunition in the field, just as we're doing here. The lead was distributed. In those days, when you had a gunsmith make a musket or a pistol or a rifle for you, he also made a bullet mold that would cast a bullet to fit your particular weapon. So you'd bring that with you as well. Washington ordered that every soldier should have 40 bullets ready at all times. So when there's a lull in the campaign, quite often over the winter time, we know at Valley Forge, soldiers that didn't have shoes were delegated to make ammunition.
So they did specialize
Well,
to a degree.
To a degree, yeah. It was the soldiers that lacked shoes. Remember, this is a winter encampment, so it was pretty hard to march around without shoes. So I imagine it was coveted work. You know, or a nice warm fire in a cabin someplace sure beat being out there in the cold and snow.
Interesting.
Now, as the lead melts, as you can see it is here, the impurities called the dross is going to flow to the surface. So the first step, once our lead is melted, is to skim off the dross using an old spoon here I have for that purpose.
Can I get an old bullet?
Wow, nice. And then while the lead is still hot, I'm going to carefully pour it in the gate of the mold, just like that. Notice I have flooded the mold because I want to drive out any air pockets. Air pockets would give us a flat spot on the bullet. And now when we open the mold, there is our bullet.
Can I buy one?
This is one .54 caliber pistol bullet for the pistol that you see there, Scottish pistol. Now, as the lead has cooled, forming the bullet, so too has left a lump in the gate of the mold. And that makes sort of a handy little handle to remove the bullet with. I use pliers because the bullet is still hot. The last step in bullet molding is to cut off that lump, which is called the sprue. I have another mold right here that has a built-in cutting device called a sprue cutter, and I simply wrap the sprue cutter around the sprue, and now when I squeeze my fingers together, it's going to cut off the sprue, and there is our finished bullet, and there is our sprue. The sprue goes back in the fire, and who was first in line?
They were over there.
Yes, you've been